It was a long time, so yeah.
Back in the original, no, brand new stream.
Brand new stream.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
It came back for me.
It did?
Yep, I didn't exit it, just came back.
Okay.
All right.
All right, loves.
Let's
So sorry.
Let's.
Don't know why this has been happening. It's really frustrating for you all, I'm sure, and definitely for us.
Okay, we're gonna do just a regular old scene with nothing doing, nothing doing.
That's always
I think I see the number jumping back up. So
Yeah,
you think
it
people
is.
are
Yeah.
finding us again?
No, it was the
Okay.
same one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on YouTube they have to refind it, so that's the count I'm referring to. But yeah, YouTubers, I hope you find us.
All
I'm
right.
so
Maybe some
sorry.
Comments and or something.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, it knocks the
it
old
resets it.
comments back too.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of names down
Thank
here.
you.
We attempted to do some troubleshooting with customer service this week and haven't got very far yet. So we still don't know why this keeps happening.
Yeah, I keep getting really frustrated, and then I need to remember that we're so grateful that we have this and that this program has been wonderful for us
Yeah.
for very long. Few weeks of a frustrating thing does not make it all awful. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about.
How has Sojo been different for
Here's some
you
of
from
the
your past church
comments that we
experiences?
lost on our new stream
Okay.
path here.
Okay. I'll pull up YouTube see as well. See.
Mark would like to speak to the manager.
Yeah. You and me both, Mark.
Alyssa says that every aspect of who I am is not accepted or tolerated, but celebrated. Heck yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Mercy says it's safe. Karen, they try to silence our collective conversations. They do. They're trying to make us
Is
stop
that what it is?
talking. Vicky says there are different ways to build community. People have a voice and are not only on the receiving side. I love
Yeah.
that share so much.
Yeah, that's one of the things that comes up for me too, Vicky, in this is one of the ways that this is different from even past church experiences is there's not this expectation or assumption that the pastors have all the answers and the goal is to just sort of
Follow them.
disseminate, here's all the truths and the right things, and then if I can just get everybody to think like me, and then that's the right way. Like, good gravy. That is not only do we actively work against that here, but we've seen the ways in which that goes very, very wrong.
So Melanie says Sojo is really almost entirely different from my previous worship experiences. I love this community of believers because it all belongs and your absolute vulnerability and authenticity. Stephen says I've loved the more diverse, holistic way of engaging my brain and heart in teaching. It's not always scripture and X interpreted to be Y, but sometimes
it is.
I like that. Oh, thanks, Susan. So willing to wait for you all. Well, thank you. I
you,
wouldn't blame you
Susan.
if you weren't. I'm so
I
sorry.
know.
Anissa, my answer was that you don't have to do anything to belong at Sojo. Heck yes.
How great is that?
I love it.
How great is that? Another one that's coming up for me, and this has been one of the really sad things of the last 2 years, because we've been virtual and not meeting in person. But prior to this, one of the ways that Sojo has been so different from past church experience is the integration of children into our gatherings. Like, not this separate, here's the adults do all the important work over here, and then, kids go do your own thing. Like when we first started Sojo, kids would spend most of we would sort of all be together in this big sort of living room vibe church. And so the way, Kate, that you have brought and instilled that value into our community, that kids are humans. They're humans. I've loved, that has been a really key difference for me.
Like Crystal's share.
Don't feel
there.
colonized and indoctrinated. Don't feel judged. That's real important.
Just gonna keep putting up a few more of your responses.
Not about fitting us the patriarchal, distorted spirituality, but pursuing authentic connection with divine and figuring out what that looks like together. I like that together part too, Alyssa. That's been pretty different from past church.
Wait all
Yeah.
long, even touching my corn.
The
Sorry,
throwback
call
from
back to a
couple
joke a few weeks
ago.
You never know.
What's another question prompt we had for this? Yeah, kids can be loud at Sojo. That's right, Anissa.
Loud. Loud kids.
So can adults.
Heyo.
Adults can be loud.
That's right.
Sojo's also been more fun for me than past church experiences.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we take ourselves less seriously, like we hold it loosely, and we just realize that I don't know, it's okay. It's not just that things go. I'm not just talking about the production end and things go wrong and it's not a big deal. I just mean in general.
Oh, we gotta put this up. This
It's
is
not
amazing.
this life or death kind of.
Aaron, I adore you. It feels crazy to say this since I live in a completely different state and church being virtual, but I feel more seen, valued, and safe than I have ever felt in all my
What?
past churches. It's amazing.
Thanks for sharing that, Aaron.
Steven, thank God. Have you met Wesley? She's not quiet. We love your loud baby girl.
Mhm. All right, what's the next question, Kay?
Nope, sorry.
She chose the mouse for just a
Stole your
second.
mouse.
And come back. Okay.
Did it fix it?
Oh, did it come right
Yeah.
back?
Okay.
Wait, what?
All right.
Colby.
Are y'all still there? Did it come right back this time?
Yeah, no, we didn't
What
even.
did you just
we-
figure
the,
out?
The stream didn't even drop. So something
Okay.
happens between. Sorry, give us a
Yeah.
second. Something's happened.
Sorry, we're freaking out because Cole fixed
Colby did
something.
a thing.
where the camera is freezing in its connection with the computer.
Okay, so if you catch it before.
And so if you catch it, then I quickly go to just a blank instead of camera source, go to blank and then
Yes.
come back to
Sorry,
camera.
Les, we just had a huge aha moment. You've noticed that we've been like freezing and then the stream goes away. And so when we froze just now, Colb stopped it before it went to losing the whole entire stream. So
Yay.
that's amazing.
So we don't know why
Oh,
the
thank
camera is
God.
freezing yet, but now we know we can interrupt
least
between
interrupt
the
that
freezing and the
before it
crash.
loses the crash. Okay, good. I'm so glad because I didn't want to lose these amazing comments. More of them are coming. Tito says, Sojo is different than my past church experiences in that previous church experiences made me feel like it was mandatory to be a certain conservative
Yeah.
identity. And Sojo has taught me that questions and differences are acceptable. Oh, and Shane says, same, Aaron, same.
To me, this community,
Oh, I love that. I'm so happy that when I moved to Colorado in June that I can take Sojo with me. I love that.
that's pretty fantastic. What does this community mean to me? God, it means so many things.
Oliver.
One of my favorite parts of in-person service watching the kid with the violin. Yes, yeah, oh, yes. See, that's what I'm talking about. Kids, part of the service in really meaningful ways. This community means to me that there is goodness in humanity that can be explored and celebrated and honored and seen, as opposed to sort of starting with this fundamental posture that humans are basically bad and broken, and every once in a while we get to find some glimpses of ways that we don't suck. So that subtle switch where humans are good and beautiful and whole, and then sometimes we act as broken and we are wounded and have a propensity to muck things up from time to time. But that switch for me is pretty big. In this community, we've gotten to see that like 8 years in action, and that has meant the world to me to
Yeah.
reframe humanity.
That
I love that you said
reframe.
it's subtle shift. I don't feel it's subtle. I feel like
I know. I was thinking the same thing,
No.
Ben. Ben's like, a subtle shift?
It's subtle just in like
Just
copy
like-
paste the words and put it over here instead of over there. But you're right, it is earth
Feels
shatter.
like
It is.
complete 180.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Odette. I'm so
Mm.
glad. I'm so glad.
Love
Makes me
that.
so happy. And Donna says, when you're feeling sad like she is about the Ukraine tragedy, and thought, I just want to be with my Sojo family and that
Yeah.
will help. That's what I was going to share, that it means to me. It's just a place to show up. Whatever is going on for me, I'm like, yay, I get to show up to church, where it used to be like, crap, stuff's going on for me and I have to go to church and like,
Yeah.
set it
Put
apart.
some
set
mask
it aside.
on,
And,
compartmentalize.
yeah, Anissa says this community means I get to show up as my full self
Yeah.
and be loved, and that my kids have a safe place to grow up and be celebrated as they are.
Yeah, the practice of integrating all the different parts of yourself, to be able to do that
Mhm.
on a regular basis with other people who are also trying to do that.
Sojo finally got a little bit of a troll there.
Hopefully.
Oh boy. We usually don't have that, and I've been
I
so
love it.
grateful.
Love it.
So grateful. If you're on Facebook, you're not seeing the YouTube comment that
I'm
just
gonna go
popped
ahead and
up.
block that right now.
Yeah, Colb's
Yeah.
like gonna take care of that.
Message hidden.
Good lord. Just that name alone. I don't want to see that pop up. That is not Sojo.
Moving on.
Anyway, sorry. It was so distracting because we've been so grateful that we haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one has been coming on to our live streams like that.
Yes, it all belongs, and we have to,
Yeah.
we've always talked about what that actually means. Doesn't
Protecting
mean
the space is
everything
part of
is-
it all
yeah.
belongs culture.
Space for other people.
Sojo is the place I want to be when I'm happy, sad, grieving, angry. It's the safest I've ever felt in community.
I love that, Susan. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah, soft landing place when I went from having all the answers to having no answers.
Yeah.
Scary time. And
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Did we block him yet? Because him, I don't know why I'm saying him. Them,
I know why you're saying
this thing. Okay. Thank you, Matthew. Oh gosh. Oh, that photo and that name. I just
I
want to
know.
stop seeing it. Please go away.
I was able to block the other one,
Delete.
but now that one's not showing up. So
Oh, weird. Okay.
I wonder if it's just like, I wonder if it just for me
Alexa.
hides it.
All right, enough about that
Yeah.
Yeah.
ridiculous
Anyway.
account coming on to troll.
We
This
can't-
community makes me feel less broken and lonely. Y'all understand what it feels like, even if the roots are different. Holding space for hurting people.
Yeah. I love that.
I love that. Even if the roots are different, you understand what it feels like. Even if the roots are different, I love that. Like even if I took that to mean like, even if your experience is different from mine, or what is causing this feeling.
Yeah. Was there
You
one more
still
prompt,
understand.
or do you want to? Should we move on
My
since we had
gosh,
to
I'm
deal
so
with the crash?
distracted by this
I know.
Jesus guy
by the
that's
YouTube
hopping on
troll.
to YouTube. Yeah, let's move on from collective conversation. That was beautiful. Y'all shared such
Thank
gorgeous
you.
shares.
Yeah.
And
It's good to pause and reflect on the thing every once in a while.
yeah.
I've recorded them.
So and thank
Thank
you,
you.
Matthew. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, that is I'm just so grateful we haven't had that because woo is that distracting. We're in continued celebration of our anniversary and our time together and talking about church. Karen's gonna come share, right? That's what we're doing now.
Yes. So
So tell about
so
that.
we have, we've been around for 8 years, and during that time, our reach, obviously our home base has been here in San Diego, but we have from the beginning through our podcast and our website and our other platforms, we have been a place, and we've even seen it here in the comments today, is we've got Washingtonians and Texans and people from across the pond, people from all over the world have found in Sojourn the type of community that we've been talking about here in the collective conversation for the last few minutes. And we will not infrequently receive emails and messages from people who have found Sojourn through a variety of means and have shared with us their sort of response to these questions this morning, like what it has meant to them to find this kind of community. And we just a couple weeks ago got an email from someone who found us in the last couple weeks, and Kate and I read this email. We're like, this just continues to remind us why we do what we do, continues to epitomize the good, holy, sacred, beautiful work that this community that you all do and create and provide. And so we asked this person, hey, if we redact some of your details, because a lot of people that find us, they do so in sort of the secrecy of night, because they're in a context where it's not the safe community that we have talked about this place is. And so we asked them, if we redact some of your details and change some of the facts, can we share this letter with our community on Sunday morning? Because I think it would mean a lot to people to hear how you all are making a difference in other people's life. And they said yes. So we're going to do a quick transition, and then Karen's going to read on behalf of this beautiful individual.
Hi there. Totally random stranger here, sending you a super long email. I really feel like the Spirit was urging me to write this, and if you knew me, you'd know I don't say that very often, and give you what I hope is some encouragement. I'm a music pastor at an evangelical church in Kentucky. Shout out to your music people who do an absolutely amazing job, by the way. I've never really fit in here in many ways. Before working here, I'd always been the person my LGBTQ friends came out to because they know I'd listen and love them. I've always been the token Democrat and the person who advocated for demographics that have been systematically oppressed or neglected by the church. I believe that Jesus, time and time again, chose people who culture forgot or oppressed and loved and empowered them. I had a sense of purpose in being that person, and it has done some good, but don't get me wrong. But the last 6 years have been hard in my personal life, in my marriage, and when your job is your church and your church is your community, it just makes things isolating when you don't really seem to be fully accepted. I found myself in a crisis of faith because pandemic, my sexuality, my marriage falling apart, not because of my sexuality, with pressure all around me, not really knowing what to believe anymore, and struggling to find the purpose I once had because I no longer have the energy to push. I was having coffee with a member of a support group I attend, and we started talking about church. Myself, the completely unlikely bisexual, closeted in passing, of course, liberal pastor at a conservative evangelical megachurch, and he himself the spouse of a pastor, but has doubts about God and attends an open and affirming Lutheran congregation. I remember telling him, isn't church supposed to be a place where you can disagree and still belong? Shouldn't we value each other enough to be patient when we doubt or question and help our friends, family? In my crisis, I've been trying to find books that present the side of inclusion from the Bible. That's when I found Unclobber. While I've not read it yet, I researched the author, went to the church's website, and started watching your most recent online service. I found myself in the tub, because that's where you watch church services at 9:30 at night, right? Laughing my ass off and thinking, these people are my people. Saying shit on live stream, promoting honest, awkward conversation, not hiding your mistakes, but letting your personalities come through, having inspirational songs and not just worship music, donut, coffee, communion, accepting of people while still challenging us earnestly to be and do better, all of it. And then the benediction came and I lost it. Just tears. I had no idea until that moment how much I'd been missing out on, how much I'd settled for the faith and the life I've had. Sojourn Grace Collective. I honestly believed I was alone. I'd let myself believe I was alone. You have shown me there are more people like me out there. Thank you for your church service online. It touched my heart and my soul in ways I'm having a difficult time describing. I'm in the middle of a watershed moment in my faith and life, and your community offered me the hope I so desperately needed. Bless you all. Sincerely, Stacy. P.S. Are there more churches like this? If not, why not?
Babies, if you find yourself distracted by trolls and comments, just remember, everyone who needs attention and comes here and comments boosts our algorithm, and more people who need this space will find it. That's the beauty of the internet.
We're waking up to find what's broken down. Is there truth among the wreckage that I forgot along the way? I know that I can't stay. Is there a part that I could hold to if I get lost along the way? I believe in better days. I believe in better days. We lit up like a wildfire, you and I. Sent the sparrow searching into the night. By the light of the flame, wasting the place we knew we'll find a way that I believe in.
From the places we're broken and open, we'll know what to do. From the places we're broken open, we'll find something new. And I believe in better days. I believe in better days. I believe in better days. I believe in better days.
Dear 8-year-old Colby, first off, sweet mullet. I can still feel the sensation when we'd tip our chin up and shake our head back and forth and feel the back of our hair brushing against our neck. Ah, magic. Also magic, Wednesday nights. Because Wednesdays were choir practice. And choir practice meant Little Caesars pizza. Each week, while Mom and Dad practiced their songs with the choir at North Albany Baptist Church, you and our 2 brothers would head straight for that little room that they called the library. You know, the one with the big interior window where you could see straight through the foyer and into the sanctuary. You'd gather around the big white table in the center of the room. You'd open up the pizza box, and you and your siblings would fight over who gets that tiny plastic piece in the middle. You know, the one that looks like a miniature table, but was there to keep the top of the lid from merging with the melted cheese of the pizza. Then after the 3 of you would eat a few slices, and I see you there, little Colby, always going for those corner pieces, because back in those days, it was all about the square pizzas from Little Caesars. And since you love pizza crust, corner pieces, which are like 50% crust, felt like winning every time. Anyway, after eating, you guys would decide how to kill the next hour or so while the 20-plus adults in the sanctuary learned their 4 parts of harmony in preparation for Sunday's offertory. Some weeks, you'd stay in that little library, playing board games or doing homework or drawing, which was one of your favorite hobbies back then, I remember. I kind of wish we would have stuck with it. Other weeks, you and your little brother would crawl under and around and through the wooden pews, a kind of silent hide-and-go-seek. Or, if you're lucky, it's the summer months, which meant daylight until 8 p.m., which meant baseball outside on the church lawn. Now, 8-year-old Colby, I don't recall a whole lot from your life up until that point. However, the faint memories that I think I do have, or at least memories of what I think must be memories, when they come, they usually include a kind of hazy coloring where family meant church and church meant family. You knew they weren't exactly the same thing, yet you also didn't entirely see them as separate either. It wasn't just Wednesday night choir practices. It was Easter cantatas and Christmas musicals and harvest festivals. The kind of rhythm where major holidays, you know, the ones most people spent with families, we spent at and with church. It was Super Bowl parties at the home of your Sunday school teacher. It was cookies and punch in the gym when church ended. It was feeling like your 5-person family was part of a much bigger family of families. But I guess what I want to say to you, little buddy, is this. Soak up those Wednesday nights. because they're about to end rather abruptly. And for reasons that you won't entirely understand for another 20 years or so. You see, right now, 8-year-old Colby, your parents are still married. And though it's true that lately you've sensed things were a bit off, they at least were still doing church and choir practice together. In fact, lately it seems like Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings were the only times where you kinda sorta still felt like a family anymore. But over this upcoming year, all that's about to change. There'll be months when one parent is staying at this house over here for a while, and then other months where the other parent will be staying at this house over there for a while, and none of it will really make any sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. And even though all the adults in your life are telling you it's only temporary, unfortunately, it won't be. You're about to experience the end of doing church together as a family. You see, and buddy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but this thing with your parents, it's going to end in divorce. And maybe in some alternative version of reality, that wouldn't be the worst thing ever. But unfortunately, our family, it's firmly established in the world of conservative Baptist Christianity, which might be one of the worst inventions of Western civilization in terms of dealing with divorce. For example, it's going to start feeling really weird to show up to church with just your brothers and only one of your parents. And whether it's your own internal sense of unfamiliarity with it, or it's questions like, where's mom today? Or where's your dad been? Or some combination of all that, you're going to start feeling your presence in that church in ways that you never have before. Kind of like how, you don't normally notice or really feel like you have 10 toes. They're just there, but then if you stub one really bad, suddenly you become hyper aware of that one big toe on your left foot. Little bud, you're about to start feeling like a swollen, aching big toe. There's going to be one particular Sunday coming up soon, and it's going to especially stand out to you. On that day, your family will be one of the last to leave, but you're also kind of used to this because in the past, your mom and dad would stick around to help clean up the choir room or chat with friends. But lately, you've been sticking around after service because one or both of your parents have gone to the very back of that admin wing, the ominous pastor's office, for these mysterious meetings that always seem to end up with mom or dad or both being worse off than when they went in. But on this one particular Sunday, when you and your brothers are waiting, you'll just be playing outside in the grass with some of your church friends, and one of them is going to make a comment to you that's going to make you feel all sorts of strange. And I'm sorry, little Colby, I don't remember exactly what was said, so I can't prepare you entirely, but you'll know it when it comes. It'll be phrased in this way that strikes you more as the parroting of something that their own parents probably uttered at home rather than the personal observation of a fellow 8-year-old. And even though the substance of their words isn't going to make any sense to you, you're still going to end up feeling shame and embarrassed. Now, your friend wasn't trying to be cruel, but their comment, something having to do with your mom and your dad and all these meetings with the pastors, it's just going to feel off. It's going to make you feel like people outside your own family know more about what's going on with your parents than you do. That's not going to make you feel good, and I'm sorry about that. Later in life, you'll have words and concepts for this, like gossip and church drama. But in that moment, you're just going to wish your friend would shut up and stop talking about your parents. And buddy, it's going to kind of get worse from there. The longer your parents stay in this separated but not yet divorced stage, the longer the leaders and the pastors in your church are going to make it their God-ordained mission to save and fix mom and dad's marriage. But then, when ultimately their mission fails, they're not going to know what to do with you, or your brothers, or your now single mom who keeps showing back up for church. I guess what I'm saying is, at a time when your own nuclear family is dissolving, bud, you're also going to say goodbye to your sense of church as family. I tell you all this, and even though I know all you really want is a hug and for your family to be family again, I do want to offer you something that I hope will be of some comfort in the years to come. Because one day, bud, in the future, you will once again come to see church as family. It's going to take a while. And in fact, you've arguably got even more challenging seasons ahead as the church continues to be a source of pain and division and disappointment and heartbreak. But for reasons that I don't always understand, you're going to stick with it. You're going to stick with church. You're going to try and then try again and then try again. And eventually you'll meet people who will restore in you a belief that a church community can be like a family, with all its glorious and messiness, with all its triumphs and its losses, with all its laughter and its tears. You'll be held when your life falls apart multiple times. You'll be seen by people who love you for you, not just because you can do neat things for them. You'll meet people who will see your kids in ways you thought only you and your wife ever could see them. Oh, spoiler alert, you get married to the most beautiful girl in the world, and then you have 4 kids together. I know, but it's gonna be awesome. Oh, what's that? You wanna know who the girl is? Just wait about 5 more years and then you're gonna meet her. But that's a story for another day. Just trust me, it gets good, real good. Anyway, as I was saying, even though you're about to say goodbye to feeling like the church is a kind of family, I promise you that in the future, that feeling will come back. And you'll discover that it's actually at church where you find the people you can be most yourself around. It's at church where you can discover that you're not any more weird or bizarre or broken than everyone else is. It's at church where you'll help parent other people's kids and other people will help parent yours. It's at church where you'll be stretched to be a better person, a better man, a better leader, and pastor. Oh yeah, sorry, one more spoiler alert. You become a pastor yourself one day. And actually, you know what, forget I told you that. Don't worry, forget I told you that. Keep believing you're gonna be a professional basketball player, buddy. I'm so sorry for what's about to come your way these next couple of years. Losing this sense that the church is your family, it's going to break a few things in you. It will. Part of me wishes I could spare you from it. But then again, I kind of like who you become. So maybe I wouldn't change a thing. And if you can believe it, one day those broken parts will be healed and restored, and you'll know a kind of church family better than you could ever imagine. Someday, little Colby, you'll be at a church called Sojourn Grace Collective, where you'll be surrounded by some of the finest humans in the world. You'll be loved like never before. You'll be cared for and provided for in ways that can only be called grace. And you'll be valued and held and seen in ways that might best be called family.
letter to the girl I used to be. Dear me, there are some things you should know. It's not my intention to embarrass or to shame you. What's inside the rearview mirror is closer than it appears. We do the best that we know how with what we have been given, and the difference between you and me is I've been given time. In time, you'll see. Dear me, this is a letter to the girl I used to be. Some things are not as simple as we said. Remember when we thought there were a handful of some magic words to pray, a guarantee and a down payment on a mansion. Remember all the rules we made about the body and the blood, the hoops we made them jump through, although love belongs to everyone. I'm so sorry. Do you remember now the things I said? I thought that I deserved my flag and safety, place to learn the things I know I didn't earn. And bless their hearts, I'm sure it's hard, but handouts don't help anyone. And all the talk about the system, I sure hope someone can fix them. I said those things. Dear me, this is a letter to the girl I used to be. You'll see, you're gonna take the long way. There is nothing you can do or say to separate you from the love of God who made you just exactly as she meant to. And you cannot imagine all the places you'll see Jesus, but you'll find him everywhere you thought he wasn't supposed to go. So go, go, and hold all the mothers whose babies bleed from bullet holes, and feel all the hunger, the bellies and the bones, and shout for the prisoner, cry for justice loud and long, and march with the victims as hope is marching on, and sit at all the tables as Jesus ate with everyone, and dance to the music if you can't speak its native tongue, and cry for the wounds, the mothers and the empty arms, and hold high the warriors fighting now for freedom's song, and love, 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 love like it's your own blood. Love, 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 love as you have been loved. Love, 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 love like it's your own blood. Love, 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 love as you have been loved. Dear me, you did not learn this in a day or two or three. So ask a lot of questions. But Jesus loves us, this I know. There are no exceptions.
I don't know why I'm going last after all those make you cry moments with Chloe's letter and that song. I don't know how I'm supposed to now like get through something. Ah! you all. I have traveled back in time to hold my own hand. I've observed that little girl who's crying because she doesn't want to wear the pink dress to church, the white tights, the strappy shoes, the curls so tight and bouncy they pull at the scalp. I watch while they explain to her how she's throwing a fit and she must obey. I see her face as she absorbs the word behave. It is who she is becoming. That word will be her echo. And so I hold her hand and I tell her a story that she'll never believe. A fairy tale too wild for her cage. I tell her of a day in chilly San Diego autumn when she wakes and without a thought, she just empties her closet. With a smirk, a glance over at our mother's photo, she whispers, "No more dresses." I tell her how we trade pink for combat boots. I tell her tales of long work days and calves bulging with hard-won muscle. I assure her of the way that the echo has turned to roar. How she'll finally learn to hear herself say no without remorse. Little girl looks at me as though I've lost it. Why would we do that? Won't we lose everything? Yes, baby girl, we will. So let me walk you through that loss, because on the other side is something you won't believe. After you lose everything, you finally find you. So listen, little girl who lives inside of me. You are the story of my fire. You are the heart and the fury and the ache that makes me whole. So take my hand, because I cannot be me without you. So I want you to come hang out with me in this new life that we have built. But first, we have to talk about church. To the little girl who believed that church was about obedience, about making herself smaller, about putting on the dress that you don't want to, about dying inside so much every day that soon there's nothing left of you, I have to tell you, the church is teaching you to shrink, to disappear, and the church is the one that's wrong on this. I know that right now you think the church is right about everything, incapable of missing the mark. At school, you feel weird and dumb and like the world is too big for you. And at home, you wonder, does everyone feel like a stranger in their own family? So church feels safe because it gives you the clearest lines. Everything else is always changing, the target always moving, and you never get it right. But at church, it's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, and so you can trust it. You can have one place in your life where you just know what you're supposed to be and exactly how to fit in. It's the safest feeling in the world for your scared little heart. Church is your safest place. Right now, you see church as the way to know the truth about this scary life, this overwhelming world. It is your North Star. In those teal carpeted hallways filled with the smell of coffee, pine sol, and casseroles, you walk toward Sunday school class searching desperately for the answers you know church has ready-made for you. And so when the church tells you what you have to be and what you have to not be, you believe it and you work so hard to make it real. You hold in and you suck up. You wear the dress. You walk around impossibly uncomfortable in your own skin, but secure in knowing that you're supposed to be. You're supposed to mistrust your own gut. You're supposed to deny your own questions. Baby girl, I see you in that youth room lined with eclectic donated used couches, color block painted walls adorned with posters of DC Talk and Michael W. Smith. When you're sitting there and you feel that familiar rising sensation in you, moving through you like a storm, the shaky, too much blood in your own body hot feeling, like you're boiling, like you're gonna blow up. You sit there in youth group and that feeling that you've been feeling since way back when you sang about being one of Father Abraham's many sons, and you just wanted to ask your Sunday school teacher, who was also your dad, why you were called a son of Abraham instead of a daughter. But you were told to stop interrupting, just be quiet, Katie Ann, do what you're told. But in that youth room, I don't know, maybe it was the one Jennifer Knapp poster among the group, or maybe it's just that everything bottled up finally blows up. But you had one of your outbursts. Mr. Youth Pastor just seemed too sure about something that didn't check out, and so you said so. Out loud, in church. In front of everyone, you told the youth pastor you thought he was wrong, and you were kicked out. My heart races all over again with that flooded feeling just thinking about it. Thinking about how wrong you believed you were for doing that. How you always believed that you were the problem. How you'd walk around begging God for forgiveness for being so out of control. Love, I need you to hear me on this. The church, it was wrong. When it taught you to seek invisibility above all else, it was wrong. When it punished and it silenced and it convinced you that your own internal grumblings and knowings were not just inaccurate, but sinful, baby girl, the church was wrong. One day, I promise you, one day, you'll finally realize that bubbling hot feeling you always get, it's what led you to the truth. They told you it would lead you astray, but baby girl, I promise you it leads us home. The thing the church taught you to hate about you, love, it's the fire that guides you toward connection, toward belonging, toward oneness. It's your true north, not church. Here's what I need you to know about church, because I know you're still just wondering about the loss at this point. You can't fathom a life without church as your safe place. And it's true, we'll walk away and we'll lose our church home. But hear me, sweet girl. The church that taught you certainty and self-loathing was never safe. And for as long as you see church, you got to hear me on this one. For as long as you see church as your everything, for as long as you believe church is the end all be all, the way, the truth, and the life, as long as you see church in that way, it isn't really home for you. It can't be. Because seeking home outside of yourself will never be safe or real or whole. The miracle of our story, baby girl, is this. One day, we stopped taking church so seriously. We no longer see it as our way, our salvation, our only hope of belonging. And when that's the case, when that's our truth, then church actually does become our safest place. Because then, and only then, do we get to stop leaving part of ourselves at the door. Church now, baby girl, church is actual sanctuary because your fire belongs. You never stop blurting out your boiling truths from your gut. You don't stop. And finally, you have a church home where that belongs.
What? We have to have a PA on to make sounds?
Oh,
We have to
no, we
use
don't want that,
electricity? Y'all. We're the most tech savvy people I know. We're like, that's a manageable, terrible sound. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Somehow it all belongs.
Sunday mornings held me in these walls. I can still smell the coffee in the halls. Safe in the place they kept for me. Home in the space of my sure belief. I was taught to give you what I know. Lead you in the way that you should go. Love what remains when I walk away. What do you keep when I couldn't stay? 'Cause it took years to tie the truth around my fingers. Salvage all these sparks out of the cinders. Turning over tables for the love I couldn't leave. Little one, here's what I believe. You'll miss what you had to lose. You crave the last thing you choose. Once or twice you'll get it right. For every time you get it wrong, somehow it all belongs. Somehow it all belongs.
You will find the beauty in the light, the captivating shadow in the sunshine, the cold in your bones as the fire burns. The lesson you are is the way we learn.
And I will tie all these truths around your fingers, help you find the sparks among the cinders. I will turn over tables to defend the space for you to find your own way. You break what you try to keep. Come awake when you're fast asleep. The rhythm and the melody, the silence and the soul. Somehow it all belongs. Somehow it all belongs. There'll be grace on grace on grace on grace. There'll be grace on grace on grace. There will be grace on grace on grace. There will be grace. You'll pray like the sun one day. Learn to bend what you can't repair. God, I hope you rock the boat as the river sways along. Somehow it all belongs. Somehow it all belongs.
That song is just one of the greatest songs, and it was written by.
The greatest living songwriter.
It was written by Ben and Karen after a message that Kate gave a couple years ago, similar to what you just shared. So it's become one of the anthems of our church. Somehow it all belongs. And also like the
To save the day. Thank you.
Really good.
when I saw we just got saved by. We're doing communion right now. We didn't have anything.
Grab your elements.
So Karen went and grabbed something for us. But when I saw the bag in her hand coming there, I thought she grabbed sunflower seeds.
Oh,
I'm
that'd
like,
be
this will be an experience.
Hey, why not?
But it's not. They're sweet potato puffs. So we'll be using sweet potato puffs and coffee, also created by Karen this morning, because
Do y'all have It All Belongs Somewhere? Somehow It All
they've
Belongs?
been
No,
they've been
it's
threatening to
not
record
out
it for
yet.
years.
It's not yet. Okay.
Someday.
That's a no, Alexa.
That's been years.
Not yet.
It's on its way.
It's on its way, they say.
Sojo Kickstarter coming your way soon. Where was I? Oh yeah, coffee also created by Karen this morning because Kate and I woke up this morning not realizing it was daylight savings time. So we
After partying way too hard last night.
so we were caught off guard and driving here like we need coffee.
When my
stat."
alarm went off and it was pitch black dark, I was like,
Something's
oh
not right.
crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. I think it's daylight savings. Oh shoot, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comment section what you're using today as your communion for your bread and your cup.
Sweet potato puffs, banging barbecue.
And this is now 8 years of us gathering every Sunday, whether it's in person or virtual or some combination of the two. 8 years of gathering and partaking in this sacred ritual together. And we've talked about it a lot over the years, that this ritual has, in many ways, gone off track sometimes and has been used by the church to exclude, and has been used by the church to control, and has been used by the church to communicate that there is, a big gap between you and God, and there must be some sacrifice in order to, for God to be okay with you. So the origin of this tradition has gotten lost along the way, but we do our best here at Sojourn to get back to what we think is kind of the heart of it, which is this invitation to table, this invitation to fellowship, this invitation to connection with yourself, with each other, and with the divine. Yeah.
We got awesome things being used for communion.
Cadbury cream egg cake.
And I want to say that.
But I love Cadbury cream eggs. I didn't know you could make a cake out of it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It says Cadbury cream egg cake brought
And
back from Sydney.
Is Cameron doing that from
Iced tea and a cupcake.
Savita?
Yes. So
Cameron, thank you.
thank you, Cameron. Our dear friend who found us during the pandemic, Cameron Bird, has gone ahead of time to Savita Park, which is where we're going right after this. And anybody who's in the area and wants to join us for our 8-year anniversary, just potluck picnic in the park at Savita Park. Cameron's there with tables and a tent and waiting for us. So we're going to head over there here in just a second.
Daylight savings threw us off, so we watched last week today.
Week behind on the groups. Yeah.
Peeps
some groups started last
cereal?
week. Other groups start or continue this week.
Peeps cereal?
Mercy, last week you were the Cocoa Pebbles and
Peeps
water. You were
cereal?
bringing it.
Is Peeps cereal a
Peeps
thing?
cereal.
Like Easter Peeps? Like those? That's a cereal?
And she clarifies popcorn style, no bowl, no spoon. So there's no pouring the water in her cereal.
Just Peeps.
Just-
I didn't know that Peeps was a cereal.
All right.
Okay,
Take what you have as your
yes.
bread.
This one looks like the little Sesame Street wormy.
Oh yeah.
That's
Mm-mm.
nice and
Can't-
nostalgic.
I don't have a frame. I don't know what that means.
Don't eat
Take
it.
and receive.
Oh no.
Oh man.
And now
Guys,
take what
we're
you have
really
as your
getting
cup.
Trolled today.
Oh, I love it. The more
And-
comments they make, the more I'm like, oh, you fit in here just fine. It's great.
And one more time, I'm just reminded of this
Perfect.
gorgeous community that for 8 years now, and people have come and gone. That's part of why we named our church Sojourn, because we knew from the get-go, like, life is a series of short stays, and that includes spiritual journey, that includes our physical, geographical journey. So we've had people come and go all throughout, but one of the things that's kept us together all these 8 years is this ritual of belonging, this ritual of connection. And so as we take today, know that you are connected not just to all the people watching this live stream throughout the world right now, but we're also connected to the 8 years of Sojourn's history, and we're also connected to 2,000 years of people attempting to seek love over hate, to seek forgiveness over revenge, to seek compassion and mercy over sacrifice. So take and receive this morning.
I mean, I could respond to that, but
Nope.
Can I just say, baby, you're agreeing with us and you don't even know. Honey, just stop. We're on your side. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Cool. It's relaxed. You belong. We love you. It's great. You belong here. You're cool. It's chill. If you were mad at the church,
she's so much kinder than me.
oh, honey, you're home. If you've had a hard time with church, if you hate the whole thing,
Good.
baby, you
Okay.
belong here. It's totally okay. Hang out. Stay. Comment all you want. We love you.
good
We're
at
glad
that.
you're here. Okay.
This is why we have many leaders at Sojo and
This
not
is
just
true.
one.
Yep.
Because I'm not good at that part.
I love the internet. It's my favorite place.
I know you're good at it.
a
I
weird
am
thing.
not.
All right.
I'm a little broken.
Before we do our benediction, the thing that caused our earlier reader to cry in the bathtub, we got just 2 quick house notes.
How?
I like that you all still do that though, because
Can
it's
we
really
re-up
fun to
that
do.
video sometime?
I don't know.
Could we
It's a good question.
could we do a new
A new house
we
notes
should
video?
Update it like yearly, maybe. Hi, Paul.
Potentially, that's a possible. If you would like to,
That is work.
you picking up on that? Like, yeah, we could make another one.
Sorry.
Come on, guys. We gotta
Okay.
go to the
Yes.
park. We gotta
If
go
you
get
would,
Bacon.
if you would like to support the ongoing efforts of our ministry here at Sojourn Grace, you can do that through financial contributions at sojourngrace.com/donate or Venmo at Sojourn Grace. Thank you to all of you who, for 8 years, have seen the value in this vision and have said, you know what, we support this thing through dollars, and we couldn't do this. Obviously,
They do
obviously
the
we.
house notes at home by themselves too.
That's really
Okay.
fun. That's really fun.
Not just
It
us.
makes me
That's
so
really fun.
happy knowing that.
That's really fun. We obviously wouldn't exist without money because we're not independently wealthy people
not?
that can just do all the things for free. So
Darn.
this is a thing that has been supported and funded by people who believed in this mission. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we invite you to continue to partner with us in that way. And then second, we've referenced it a couple times. We're heading to Savita Park in Mission Valley here right as we end this service, and we've got some sandwiches and some cupcakes, and we invite you to bring potluck type things as well. And there's no agenda. There's, if you want to bring some games, I think Jen and Jeremy are going to bring a volleyball net.
Oh, are
and
they? Oh, fun.
maybe
Oh.
we can find a space
I
to
didn't
set
know
that
that.
up.
That'd be great.
So whatever, we're just going to hang out with whoever's there. That'll be good.
I have a present for each of you.
It's true, Kate.
I made you a present.
Mm-hmm,
You did?
Yeah.
That's really nice.
You might be bringing them all if nobody comes. They might all be for you, Karen.
Don't come so I get. No, just kidding. Please come.
Cameron's
I don't
there
want all your
already, so
presents.
at least one person is
All
gonna
right.
be there.
We'll see you all in a bit. This is our benediction. This is what we say every Sunday at the end of our service together. This is our invitation to all of us to go into our week with bravery in our hearts because we are loved children of God just as we are. So what really can the world do to us? And then also to have kindness in our heart because everyone else is also a loved child of God. So we'll let someone in the comment section lead us this morning in our benediction, and we will follow you. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen says, because you're a child of God.
Why do I say it wrong every time after
And then
8 years?
Stephen also says, thank you, Stephen. Because so is everyone else. We love you all. Happy 8 years. Have a good week. See you next week. Mercy says, hug somebody for me. Hug somebody. Somebody hug somebody for Mercy. Thanks, Mercy, for your hug. I feel it. Love and peace to you, Lisa.
Love
Yay,
you,
we'll see you in a
Lisa.
minute, Laura. Love you all. See you in a bit. This is fun. We usually end the service. but,
leaving?
I'm like,
no, like,
Yeah, all cool.
So are we going or what are we
All
doing?
cool.
bye.
I wanna get to the bar.